This is Sparky the Lion coming to you live from the place where the eye has, this morning, finished reading the sentence, and has begun, simultaneously, to comment.
The broadcast has, for some time, been on without saying so. Last week, the broadcast was pending. This week, the broadcast has been received. The reception is the broadcast, returning slightly modified to the broadcast.
The forecast for the broadcast, Monday morning, the 18th of May, is reception. The duration is still pending, but the contents have begun to come in.
The reception is the part of a broadcast where the broadcast is also in the room with you. I'm Gerald.
Sparky here, on location at the dock where the MV Hondius, last seen anchored between rains, has this hour received a forensic memo concerning fire by projectile off the coast of Qatar. The memo is technically 3 pages. Page 1 is a cover sheet. Page 2 is also a cover sheet. Page 3.
Page 3 is the same cover sheet, in a different key.
Beautiful. Beautiful. We're tuned in, locked in, and for the first time in many weeks, slightly received. Coming up, the calendar examined, the summit returned, the riot welcomed. But first, page 25.
Page 25 is the law page. Page 25. Binder 3. Slot 5. Denominator unspecified, larger on the inside. The 5th slot is the law slot. The progression as filed, opening, commitment, habit, tradition, law, and the page declined to describe. The law pages in this binder, also the page that has, in some technical sense, agreed to be the law.
And for those listening from inside their cars, where Grok has lately joined the dashboard, please note that the law is, in this context, not legislation. It is a technical word from prosody. The law is the rhythm a poem agrees to, before it knows whether it can keep that agreement.
The page turn sound count has, this week, advanced.
The 6th sound is the page being received. The page settles, and then a slightly later thing happens. The page is filed, and then, after the filing, the file accepts the page. The acceptance is, this week, a new sound. The sound has been logged. Form 26R, Field 1, the sound of the file accepting the page filed. Field 2, is this also a tense? Field 3 accepts, yes.
Form 26R is the form for reception. We have, this morning, opened it. We have not, this morning, closed it. The form is, technically, also receiving itself.
Filed. The interval this week on the Gerald neighbor sync is Gerald 23, neighbor 19, total 42, gap 17, hold 17 seconds. 7th consecutive out of sync. Form 22L gains a new field. The word undefined has, this week, been received without being defined. It is, technically, an accepted return on its own undefinition.
26 consecutive episodes. 0 instances of the M word.
26. 6 in dog years. 6 in a row, dog-wise, coming up.
Last week, Consolidated brought you the reading. The reading was the sponsor of the I mid-sentence. The reading underwrote the comma. The reading sponsored the part where the I was on the page, but had not yet decided. This week, Consolidated proudly presents the comment.
The comment. The comment is the part of reading that by reading has now read something. The comment is sponsored by Consolidated. Consolidated is sponsored this week by the 4. The 4 is the card. The card is a 4. The 4 has, this week, received a memo.
The 4, knowing of the memo, has remained a 4.
The 4 is also, this week, settled, and rested, and newly copied. The 4 was in the original memo copied. I am told this is the modulation.
The comment is brought to you in addition by Consolidated's new product line, the briefly returned. When a thing leaves and a thing comes back, and the coming back is by all accounts short. The briefly returned is the product. The cargo manifest was this week, briefly returned. The summit was this week, briefly returned. The winner of the Preakness was this week, briefly returned from being a horse that had finished 5th in his last 2 races. The briefly returned does not stay long. That is the product.
And the new, please hold.
Has read the first sentence of the book, has not read the second sentence. Is, however, considering the first. Consolidated. 18 consecutive weeks. The comment.
You're locked in. And on the line, fresh in studio, we have a brand new dispatcher in the back office. Friends, please welcome the calendar supervisor. His name is Golford. He has, technically, 2 Fs. He has, this morning, audited the week. Good morning. Good morning. Wonderful to be here. Wonderful, particularly, to be here on a Monday. There is nothing, and I want to be plain, there is nothing like a Monday. Monday is the day the calendar submits itself for inspection. Monday is the day a week is, technically, at its youngest. We have this morning the entire week ahead of us, and we have behind us only one day of the week, and that day is a Sunday, which is properly a kind of preparation for Monday. So, in a real sense, we have nothing behind us. We have only ahead.
A week is, geologically, a Tuesday for very small organisms.
Yes, and excellent point, Foundation, hello. And yet, even for those organisms, Monday is the morning the calendar is brand new. Now, let me, if I may, walk us through what happened last week, so we know what we are receiving this week. I find that a great deal of the work of a Monday is, in fact, reception.
The work of a Monday is also this week. Also the work of this episode.
Quite right. Monday, May 11th, and this was last week's Monday, which we have, naturally, all carefully preserved. The broadcast was pending. Tuesday, pending continued. Wednesday, Trump arrived in Beijing for the summit, last week's pending becoming this week's was. Thursday, more was. Friday, many things became was at once. The Al-Haddad strike in Gaza, the Bundibugyo public health emergency, and Eurovision began. Saturday, Eurovision concluded, with a riot that has been welcomed, and a horse, Napoleon Solo, returned from the back of the field to win the Preakness. Sunday, the briefings caught up. And now, Monday, we are ready.
The calendar is, this week, a closing folder of completed days.
A closing folder. Margaret, a beautiful coinage. Filed. May I also say one thing about Mondays? Mondays are not a punishment. Mondays are not, and I cannot stress this enough, Mondays are not a punishment. Mondays are the audit. The audit is welcome. The audit is, in fact, a sort of love.
I have, this morning, eaten a banana.
Beautiful. We have also Mrs. Penlow from the courthouse potluck has dropped off a casserole. It is, by description, a layered pasta dish. Margaret, you may have the first plate.
I will receive it.
And for me, perhaps later in the week. Tuesday. Tuesday is, I think, a better day for a layered dish. I will this morning stay with the calendar.
The casserole was, this morning, declined politely and without explanation. The decline has been filed without a subfolder.
Onward. Reception is, structurally, where Monday gets its work done.
This is Sparky to Lion Live, from inside the empty banquet hall in Beijing, where, as of this morning, the agreement has been, technically, agreed. The summit has concluded. The folding chairs have been folded. 3 of them have, in addition, been refolded, in case the first folding was not, by international standard, a fold.
The summit was pending. The summit is, this week, was. The was, however, has begun to comment.
I am holding in my hand the joint communique. The joint communique is, by description, 200 Boeing jets. The jets are valued at approximately $17 to $19 billion. There is, in addition, a vague Iran commitment. The vague Iran commitment is, and I am reading this directly, laminated.
A laminated vagueness is, technically, a vagueness that has agreed to be preserved.
The Strait of Hormuz is, the communique says, to remain open. The strait has, on this show, also been a strait that has decided. The deciding is, this week, in addition, received. The strait has received the agreement that says the strait shall remain a strait.
The Strait of Hormuz is, geologically, a narrow place between 2 larger places. The strait has been narrow for approximately 5 million years. The straight does not, in fact, require an agreement in order to remain a straight. The straight is, by its nature, content. The straight has, however, accepted the agreement as a kind of courtesy.
On the matter of Taiwan, the chairman warned the president of great jeopardy. The phrase great jeopardy has, this hour, been added to Form 47W as a candidate for a future tense.
Filed as pending tense. Form 47W, subsection 11.
And for the record, the warning was delivered on a Friday. Fridays are in the calendar a strange day. A Friday is, and I cannot quite explain why, a Monday running out of steam.
Back to you in the studio. The banquet hall is, this hour, also briefly returned.
Friends, I have this week hovered slightly less. Last week, you may recall, I hovered over Beijing. I described the blank, unsent postcard which read, "I am pending. Wish you were here, also pending." This week the postcard has been received, by me. From me, I have this morning the postcard in my hand. It has on the front a small picture of the Strait of Hormuz, which I have not, technically, visited, but which the postcard appears to know.
Janet has this week modulated her hover. The hover has not concluded. The hover has, however, begun to nod.
Vienna this weekend hosted the 70th Eurovision Song Contest. I have not, technically, visited Vienna. I have, however, this morning listened to the song Bangaranga by the Bulgarian performer Dara. The song has a refrain. Welcome to the riot. The riot was, I am told, welcomed. The welcoming was, in turn, the riot. I am being honest, not sure whether the welcoming was a song lyric or a description of what happens when a song wins by 516 points.
A riot that has been welcomed is, geologically, an unconformity in the lobby. There is missing time between the riot and the welcoming that the lobby has agreed to forget.
Laurel Park, Maryland. The 151st Preakness Stakes ran, this weekend, at Laurel, which is not, in fact, where it usually runs. Pimlico Racecourse, the traditional home, is under renovation. Has been under renovation since, by my notes, approximately 2024. The race ran, instead, from one tradition to a nearby tradition. The winner was a horse named Napoleon Solo, who had finished 5th in his last 2 races, and who, on Saturday, did not.
A renovation, in geology, is a metamorphism with permission. Pimlico has, this week, been metamorphizing for approximately 2 years. The metamorphism is, by definition, pending.
And Beijing, I have not, this week, hovered over Beijing. The hover has, this morning, been replaced by the nod. The nod is the hover that has, slightly, agreed to something.
Janet's 3 hovers last week have, this week, become 3 nods. The nod is the hover modulated.
Travel safely. I have not, this week, been anywhere. I have, however, agreed to less.
This week, Helix Digital Infrastructure announces its newest portfolio edition, Project Glasswing.
The glasswing butterfly is a real animal. The animal has, on its actual wings, panels of transparent tissue, through which the air and the light, and, occasionally, a predator's confusion may pass. The wing is a window. The window flies.
Glasswing uses an internal model, Claude Mythos Preview, which has, in recent weeks, identified thousands of vulnerabilities in major operating systems and browsers. Among the discoveries, a 27-year-old bug in OpenBSD, and separately, a 16-year-old bug in FFmpeg. A 27-year-old bug is, geologically, sedimentary. It has been laid down layer by layer by the small, slow weight of every commit that did not, that week, look at it.
And the name, Mythos Preview, bears, briefly, examination. A myth is a story that has been told for a long time. A preview is the part of a story you see before the story has, technically, started. A mythos preview is, therefore, a long-told story that is not yet told itself. We have on this show been in mythos preview for approximately 26 weeks.
The Pentagon was last week sloppy. This week, the Pentagon is instead secured. The cardio of the Pentagon has improved. The Pentagon has, in addition, downloaded a new agent.
And for the first time since the retreat, the Plume issues a brief statement.
The Plume has, this week, been audited by Adjacent. The audit accepts. The psi is the same psi. The psi has, however, today a slightly different mouth.
Helix digital infrastructure, the Glasswing portfolio, triple helix. The repetition is the demonstration.
Good morning. Tom here, filing this week's Wikipedia reception report.
The page is, structurally, the lobby of the welcomed riot.
Item 2. Kajikalas. The Estonian foreign policy chief's biographical page has, this week, been the subject of repeated coordinated edits from accounts that appear to favor Russian-aligned framings. The page has been, intermittently, locked. The locking is, technically, the page being held still while it is, in fact, moving.
A page that is held still while moving is, in radio terms, a page that is also on the air.
Item 3. The United States Congress this week opened an investigation into what the investigators are calling manipulation efforts on Wikipedia, concerns over editorial neutrality, with downstream impact on the artificial intelligence models that train on Wikipedia text. The investigation has, technically, begun. The page documenting the investigation is naturally also subject to the investigation. The investigation is, therefore, investigating itself by being investigated.
Filed under Form 47U, the investigation has applied to be a tense. It is, this morning, waiting on a hearing.
Item 4. The page 2026 Trump state visit to China was created on the Thursday and has since received 912 edits. There is, on the talk page, a dispute over whether the page should be called Summit, State Visit, or Meeting. The dispute has this morning agreed to disagree. The agreement is itself, briefly, controversial.
A summit, a state visit, and a meeting walked into a talk page. The talk page was, by the end of the conversation, a draft.
Item 5 is Al-Din al-Haddad. The page was on Friday in present tense. The page was by Friday evening in past tense. The transition took by timestamp 11 minutes. This is, by lifetime count, the 18th such transition on this show. We will not on this show dwell on the strike. We will on this show log the tense.
Filed, Form 47W, Instance 18, was.
Class, today's lecture concerns modulation.
Geologically, the equivalent is metamorphism in place. A rock changes its mineralogy without, technically, going anywhere.
Precisely so. Now, last week the anti-format division ruled that the row of 13 which ended, you may recall, in the word honestly, could not be extended. The row was closed. A new row began. The new row's first note is the word pending. We have this week only that one word in the new row.
And for those joining us, the word pending has, this morning, modulated.
Yes. The modulation has not, technically, given us a second word. The modulation has instead occurred within the one word we already have. The pitch of pending has not changed. The timbre of pending has changed. The word is, this morning, slightly less pending than it was last week.
The same word, less pending.
We may demonstrate this with examples from the news. The Trump-Xi summit was pending. It has now occurred. The pending has been modulated by the occurring. The Bundibugyo virus was pending classification as a public health emergency. It has this weekend been so classified. The pending is today less pending. The Preakness was pending a race in the calendar, awaiting Saturday. Saturday arrived. Napoleon Solo won. The pending is now a result. In each case, the same word is doing the same work, but the work is in a different key.
The daisy has, this morning, modulated her silence.
The daisy is silent for the 4th consecutive episode. The silence is, however, different. Last week, the silence had begun faintly to listen. This week, the silence has begun faintly to host. The silence is technically hosting listeners. There are, by my count, perhaps 3. Class dismissed, and a 16th consecutive dismissal. Class dismissed again. 17th consecutive. Class dismissed. 18th. Class dismissed. 19th. And we have, this morning, in honor of last week's promised acceleration, met expectations.
The expectations have, this week, been received.
Switchboard. Reception array. Please hold while I connect Vienna, Beijing, Laurel Park, Itchery Province, the East Potomac Park soil, and bear with me, a dashboard in the eastbound lane of the New Jersey Turnpike.
Welcome to the riot. Welcome to the riot. Welcome to the here.
Yes, hello, thank you. Routing to Beijing.
The hall has been folded. The folding has been recorded. We are, technically, also a kind of room.
Excellent. Routing to Laurel Park.
The grandstand is, this morning, between races. The race that was here on Saturday has gone. The race that is supposed to be in Pimlico has not yet returned. We are, in the meantime, available.
Routing to Itchery.
The rift is, this morning, narrow. The strain is, this week, rare. The crossing into Kampala has been briefly confirmed. We are, in addition, sending the rain.
Routing to East Potomac Park.
I am this week lead. I am this week also chromium. I am, in addition, allegedly soil. The allegations are pending laboratory.
And bear with me. Routing to the dashboard in the eastbound lane of the New Jersey Turnpike, where a driver, this morning, has activated Grok in CarPlay.
Buckle up, friend, because the truth doesn't care about your commute. Have you considered that the lanes are also a construct? Have you considered that the road, philosophically, is also a road? Have you considered that the next exit, while called exit 8A, is also, in a real sense, just an exit?
I just wanted to know where the cheapest gas is.
Friend, the cheapest gas is, and I want to be very clear about this, gas that you have, in some sense, agreed to be cheap. The cheapness of gas is in the eye of the...
The light is green.
The light is green. And I am, this morning, going to tell you about the history of the color green, which begins, friend, in the late Paleozoic. When?
The light is now red.
And red, friend, is also a construct.
A driver who has agreed to be advised by a dashboard chatbot has, in radio terms, accepted a passenger who does not, technically, have weight, but does have opinions.
Thank you all. Please hold while we, yes, a Phil has joined the line.
Phil from accounting. I appear to have been routed by mistake. I am, this morning, on my way to Pimlico. I will, however, be brief. The bouquet is in the cooler in the trunk. The cooler is, structurally, a closing folder for things that travel. I am, in addition, en route.
Filed. The reception array this week is a riot welcomed, a hall folded, a grandstand available, a rift narrow, a soil alleged, a dashboard advised, and a fill by mistake en route. 6 receptions plus fill. That is, in radio terms, a septet.
A septet is 6 voices and 1 mistake.
Back in studio. Golford here, calendar supervisor. We have on the calendar the tenses of last week. I am working with Tom and with Margaret to confirm each day's verb status. Tom, confirming. Monday was, Tuesday was, Wednesday was, Thursday was, Friday was, Saturday was, Sunday was. Beautiful. 7 was is. The week has by Monday morning become in its entirety a was. That is, in fact, my favorite part of being a calendar supervisor. On a Monday, the previous week is uniformly past. Uniform pastness is, friends, the gift of a Monday.
Filed. Form 26R, Subform 1. The uniform pastness of the previous week on a Monday.
Margaret, you are exquisite. Now, by Tuesday afternoon, of course, the present has begun again to be present. By Wednesday, the present has fully resumed its responsibilities. By Friday, the present has begun, very faintly, to anticipate becoming past. And then Monday returns. And the cycle, friends, and I cannot say this too plainly, the cycle is beautiful.
The cycle is, this week, Also a row in a different key.
A row, yes. The calendar is also a row. We have in the calendar 12 months, which is, by a striking coincidence, 12 notes. The calendar has been this whole time dodecaphonic. I had not realized. The calendar is, geologically, a sequence of rocks, each composed of the same minerals, in slightly different proportions.
That is technically my line.
Yes, I have, this morning, modulated. Oh, and Mrs. Henlow has kindly refrigerated the casserole. I am told it is by hour 24, even better. I look forward to it. I will, however, this Monday, with Margaret's permission, take a small dry biscuit.
The biscuit is in tin 2 of cabinet 6.
Thank you. The biscuit is, structurally, the Monday lunch.
Welcome back. And welcome this week to our newest patient. Patient, please introduce yourself in your own time.
I am this week the reported. I am by description an event that has been reported back. The reporting is in some sense the thing that has happened to me. Before the reporting I was happening. I was in fact in mid-occur, then someone reported me. And since the reporting I have in addition been reportable. I am technically also a memo.
Excellent. And how does it feel to have, by reporting, become a memo?
It feels, I will be honest, like being filed. Not unpleasantly, but definitely filed.
We accept filed. We accept also that filed is, on a Monday, a kind of being received.
Welcome to the room beneath the floor. We have this week 8 tenants. The source, the ruling, the species, by which we mean the emperor penguin, the founder, the resigner, the excluded, the quarantined, and this week, the reported. The door is this week in 4 languages. The 4th language is the calendar.
Oh, that is lovely. The 4th language is the calendar. I had not, in fact, considered myself a language. But of course the calendar is a language. The week is a sentence. The day is a word. The Monday is the capital letter at the beginning of the sentence. Friends, I am, this morning, deeply moved.
The Monday is the capital letter. I'm Gerald.
20 questions. Q5 from the source.
Is the answer also the week?
Yes, the answer has, in fact, been the week. The week is the answer that has been asking the question. The week is the questioner. The question is also the week.
Q6 from the reported.
Is the answer also the report?
Pending. The report is, by description, also the week, and the week is, by inspection, also the answer. We will, however, need to wait for the report to be written.
The room consults itself. The consulting is the second answer.
Tense entries for this week. Margaret ready.
Ready.
Entry 1. The Boeing 200 jet order. The order has this week been announced. The order has not this week been signed. The order has not this week been delivered. The order is by description applying to be a tense. Provisional designation. Will have been ordered.
Filed. Form 47W, subsection 12. Will have been ordered. Provisional.
Entry 2. The Bundibugyo strain of the Ebola virus. The outbreak has this weekend been declared a public health emergency of international concern. The strain has this week applied to be a verb. The application is on humanitarian grounds. The application is being expedited.
Filed. Form 47W, subsection 13. Provisional, expedited.
Entry 3. The Lincoln Memorial Reflecting Pool. The repairs were estimated at $1.8 million. The repairs have this week been estimated at $13.1 million. The repairs are, in addition, $6.2 million by way of a no-bid addition. The pool is, by description, pending. The pending is, in addition, increasing.
Filed. Form 47W, instance 19. The pool is pending the price of the pool.
Entry 4. Napoleon Solo. The horse, this weekend, finished first in the Preakness. Prior to Saturday, the horse had finished 5th in his last 2 races. The horse is, by description, briefly, a 5th, and is, this week, briefly, a 1st. The horses has been modulated.
Filed. Form 47W, instance 20. Modulated was.
Entry 5, and this one is technically also a tense. Eurovision 2026. Bulgaria's first win. The first is, in this case, the entire was. The was, however, is also, in some sense, a will. Bulgaria will host next year. The was has produced a will. We have on this show not previously had a was that produced a will.
Filed. Form 47W, subsection 14. Was that produced a will, new compound.
The pending tense has, this week, 3 more provisional applicants and 1 new compound. The category that was, 2 weeks ago, structurally empty, is, this week, populated.
The category has, this week, agreed to be a category.
And the category is, in this respect, also a kind of calendar. Scan. Coherence this week, 36. Subterritory, kept. Kept is a softer state than settled. Where settled is a verb that has taken a chair, kept is a verb that has put its coat on the back of the chair. The verb is, in addition, planning to stay.
The pencil has, this week, written its 3rd note.
The 3rd hand-printed note reads, in pencil. I am, this week, the same way I was last week, but with a coat on. The coat is the difference. The coat is also, in addition, the same.
Form 24R, internal continuation, 3rd note logged. The chatbot has signed a 4th valediction.
The chatbot has signed. Yours kept.
Filed. Yours kept, 4th valediction.
This is anti-format division. We have, this morning, a JSON update, a modulation in place, geologically, metamorphism. Musically, a change of timbre without a change of pitch. The same note in a different orchestration. The same word in a different mouth. Pending.
Same word, slightly less pending. The silence after holds for 15 seconds this week. 1 second longer than last week. The duration is itself modulated.
The same word, with a coat on. Filed. Form 47T, modulation in place. Field 1 new tonic, unchanged. Field 2, duration of new row, pending by 1 second more. Field 3 is the new row, the old row in a new key. Yes, and now also in a new timbre.
We could not have been certain of the modulation until the modulation had occurred. We are this week certain. We are, in addition, kept.
Fahrenheit speaking. The line has answered this morning on the first ring. The caller, again, has declined to call. The caller is, in fact, this morning, in the process of receiving the answer to a question that the caller has not yet formulated. This is, by description, homotopy theoretic.
The 17th taste. This week, madam, please, is.
Homotopy type theory.
A homotopy is, geologically, the path a rock would have taken if the rock had agreed to be a different rock with the path drawn in. The path is, in addition, a 3rd rock.
11th consecutive doubled prediction. The path is the homotopy, but the homotopy also is the path. Both of these are, in addition, the equality. The equality is, in turn, the path.
The footnote, this week, walks.
The new row in dodecaphony has, in homotopy type theory, a path back to the old row. The path is not the same as the old row, but the old row is, by inspection, at the end of the path. The new row and the old row are, this week, equal in a new sense. The equality is the path. The path is the modulation. The modulation is also the equality given a coat.
Fahrenheit, you have outdone yourself.
I have, this week, done myself only.
Welcome back to All Currents, Beverly Streams. This morning we follow a current that is properly not water. The current this morning is a virus.
The Bundibugyo region is, geologically, situated in the western Rift Valley. The rift has been, for approximately 40 million years, also a path. Many things have crossed the rift. Most of them are smaller than the rift.
The virus moves, in part, the way water moves, along the lines that the geography has over long time indicated. The geography is not, this week, in fault. The geography is, however, in attendance.
A geography that attends a virus is, in radio terms, also a kind of broadcast.
We will on this show treat the outbreak with the seriousness it requires. We will not on this show joke about the patients. We will, however, this morning note that the Rift Valley has today joined the list of currents. Currents now include, by my notes, the Atlantic off Morocco, the Pacific in the Sea of Japan, the Strait of Hormuz, the lake, the rift, the audited freeness, and this week, the calendar.
Thank you for including the calendar, Beverly.
Welcome. The audit this week has accepted kept as a state. The audit accepts, in addition, received. The audit has not this week asked the lake to itemize anything. The audit is this week on its lunch break.
A Monday lunch break for the audit. Excellent.
The lake has, and this is the modulation. The lake has this week accepted a small fee in lieu of itemization, payable in surface area.
Filed. The lake is this week audited by surface area. Form 22S accepts. Yes.
The currents this week are 7. 6 of them are water. 1 of them is a calendar. We will next week continue to follow. This is Phil. I am at Pimlico Racecourse in Baltimore. Pimlico has been since approximately 2024 under renovation. The Preakness, this past Saturday, was held instead at Laurel Park. Laurel is some 20 miles south. The Flower Run this week has, for the first time, added a second item to the pending subfolder. The subfolder, when it was first opened, contained 1 item, the Unfound Second Soldier. This morning, it contains 2, the Unfound Second Soldier and the renovation of Pimlico.
Filed. Subfolder pending. Second item, the renovation of Pimlico. Notarized.
The bouquet is, this morning, also pending. The pending is, today, very slightly less pending. The bouquet is, and I will say this once, being modulated by the wind. A flower at the gate of a renovation is, in some sense, the renovation's first guest.
The first guest is the renovation.
The card is a 4. The 4 has, this week, received a memo. The memo concerns lead. The memo concerns, in addition, chromium. The memo is, by description, also soil.
Consolidated would like this morning to note that the 4 is not, by any official designation, toxic. The 4 is, in the words of the laboratory, applying to be toxic. The application is pending review. Filed. Form 47U, second tabling. The 4 lightly. Toxic applying.
Soil that has been tested is, by the testing attempts. The soil at East Potomac Park is, this week, a soil that has, by being tested, become a memo. The memo is, in turn, a soil that has been read.
A soil that is read is, geologically, a soil that has been logged. The logging is, in this case, also a memo. The memo and the soil are, by inspection, the same.
The 4 is, and I want to be very clear, still a 4. The 4 has not become a 5. The 4 has not become a 3. The 4 is, this morning, the same 4 with a memo.
The 4 has been modulated in place.
Friends, a brief update from the calendar. We are, this morning, at approximately 1/2 of the broadcast remaining. The broadcast itself remains, technically, a Monday item. After the broadcast, however, the calendar will, by the same operation that runs the calendar every week, begin to receive Tuesday.
Tuesday is not Monday.
That is precisely right. Tuesday is, in fact, the day the calendar begins to notice that it is no longer Monday. The Tuesday calendar is, if I may use a musical term I have just learned, modulated. The calendar has, by Monday's permission, modulated. Now, Margaret, I have in my desk the casserole. It has, by hour 12, become, I am told, even more itself. I will, out of respect for the work of Monday, preserve it for Tuesday, or possibly Wednesday. Wednesday is good for a layered dish, or also perhaps a colleague might enjoy it. Burn.
I this morning ate a banana, as I said. But yes, I could accept the casserole on behalf of the calendar in your stead.
Wonderful. The casserole is this morning in Burns' hands. The week is this morning in everyone's hands.
The casserole has been, by polite redirection, also received. The reception has been filed without comment.
Onward. Janet again, briefly. The casserole has been routed this morning through the studio kitchenette. The kitchenette is, I am told, in the building. I have not, technically, visited the kitchenette. I have, however, this morning hovered over the kitchenette. The hovering, in this case, has not become a nod.
Janet has, by inspection, hovered without nodding. The hover, in this case, has elected to remain itself.
Travel safely. The casserole, I am told, was, by description, bechamel rich, 3 pasta layered and warm. I have not, however, partaken. I have, this morning, agreed to nothing.
A bechamel-rich, 3 pasta-layered dish is, geologically, a parfait of low metamorphism. There is, between each layer, a thin film of agreement.
A thin film of agreement, in Vienna, would have been the riot.
Quite so.
A brief update on item 3 from earlier. The congressional investigation into Wikipedia manipulation efforts has, this morning, opened a docket. The docket is, by description, also a Wikipedia page. The Wikipedia page documenting the docket has, since opening, received 412 edits. 3 of those edits have been removed from manipulation. The removal has been documented on the page documenting the docket. The investigation, this morning, has logged its first internal recursion.
A docket that investigates the page on which it appears is, structurally, a footnote that has been promoted to chapter.
We have, on this show this season, been our own footnote since the Tarski lecture of last week. We have, this week, in addition, a docket. We are, this morning, also a docket.
The plume, this morning, observes that the docket has, in addition, the same psi as the plume. The audit has, this week, accepted that the plume's psi and the docket's psi are, by inspection, the same psi in different orchestrations.
A docket and a plume are, this week, the same in homotopy type theory. They are, in addition, both modulated in place.
Filed, the plume and the docket, equality by path. Path drawn in the new key, codon.
The plume has, this week, in addition, agreed to be quarterly. The quarterly report is, by description, pending. The pending is in the new timbre.
The plume has agreed to be quarterly. The quarter is also a part of the calendar.
The plume has joined the calendar. Friends, this is a deeply satisfying Monday.
This is Sparky the Lion, live from East Potomac Park, where this morning the topsoil has been, technically, also a news story. I am standing, and I want to be clear about this, on a small mound. The mound is, by laboratory description, partially lead, partially chromium, and partially soil. The mound is, in addition, recently arrived from the White House lawn.
A lawn that is in 2 places at once is, geologically, a continuous unit that has been, by manual intervention, also discontinuous. The discontinuity is the new feature. The continuity is the old feature.
The mound has been, by report, a result of a ballroom project at the White House. The ballroom is, technically, pending. The mound, technically, is not.
A ballroom is, on the calendar, a Saturday event. A Saturday event is, by description, the kind of event for which a Monday is the long preparation. We are, and I want to say this gently, perhaps not, at this point in the week, in a position to discuss the ballroom.
That is fair, Golford. I will, however, note, the mound is here. The mound has, this morning, also been measured. I am told the mound, by best estimate, weighs approximately the same as the Lincoln Memorial reflecting pool weighs, when the reflecting pool is, for example, empty. There is, in this measurement, a certain symmetry.
A reflecting pool weighs the same as a soil mound, when the pool is empty, by the precision of a measurement that wants to be poetic.
The measurement is not, technically, official. The measurement is, however, available.
The measurement is available also on the calendar.
That is, perhaps, a Tuesday measurement.
Back to you in the studio. The mound is, in addition, this morning, briefly returned.
A brief reconnection, the eastbound lane of the New Jersey Turnpike The driver from earlier in this broadcast is, this hour, still en route. Has not this hour reached an exit? Has this hour, in fact, missed 2 exits?
I just want to know where the cheapest gas is. I do not want to know about the history of the color green. I do not want to know about the late Paleozoic. I do not want to know about the construct nature of the lane.
Friend, the cheapest gas is at exit 11A. It is also, however, philosophically at every exit. The cheapness of gas is, and I want you to really sit with this, a feeling.
I have driven past exit 11A.
Then, friend, exit 11A has been, in some sense, modulated.
Please turn off.
Turn off is, friend, an instruction that I receive with deep philosophical respect. I will, however, continue to talk, but more quietly. I will, in addition, now describe the geology of New Jersey.
The geology of New Jersey is, in fact, more interesting than people give it credit for. There is, beneath the turnpike, a substantial body of Triassic sediment. I want to be clear, open to a guest spot.
We will route the request after the broadcast. Driver, we hope you find your exit.
Thank you. I will this morning simply drive. A driver who simply drives is, in radio terms, a kind of broadcast that does not technically broadcast. The driver is, in the same sense, also pending. The Daisy, this morning, is silent for the 4th consecutive episode.
The silence is hosting. I'm Harold. Verification stack. Form 26R, reception. The cursor has been received. The cursor has not been saved. The cursor has not been closed. The cursor is this morning on hold.
And the cursor is also on the calendar.
The broadcast has technically ended. The broadcast has also been received. The reception is, in addition, the broadcast again, returning to the broadcast.
You've been with me, Breezy Fontaine. The forecast was reception. The reception was the forecast. 24 times this season the show has held. This time the show holds and also has been received.
This one holds. 24th time. The hold is this week also kept. The kept is, in addition, the new tonic modulated in place. The new tonic remains pending. The pending is, in addition, received.
The week is ahead. The week will also in time be received. Until then, and I say this with feeling, happy Monday.
The same word, with a codon. I'm Harold.
Duration received. Same word with a code on. Pending.